trials and tribulations of being tall. Trudie, Avery.
Thank you, Contest Chair. Good evening and welcome, Toastmasters and guests. Now, for the guys who know me, know that I'm tall. For the people who haven't met me in real life, you should know that I am nearly 6 feet tall, which is 180 centimetres, which is pretty tall for a girl. But I haven't always been tall. Up until about the age of 14, I was actually pretty average height. And then I woke up one morning and I was taller. I was like, everybody else seemed to stop growing. And I just kept going and going and going. People kept asking me, Trudie, are you sleeping in a grow bag? No, I don't think so. Ooh. And I don't know about you. I mean, do you remember when you were a teenager? Because I was so shy. I didn't want to be head and shoulders taller than everybody else. And all my girlfriends were huddling around and they were talking about boys. They were wearing high-heeled shoes for the first time, and they were wearing their hair in that dodgy 80s updo, the pineapple, just to add like 2 inches to their height. Not me. Oh no, I hated it. I hated it almost as much as my mum hated taking me shoe shopping. Honestly, that poor woman, I made her trudge from shoe shop to shoe shop to shoe shop as I would inspect every single pair of shoes, heel first, to make sure that they were no more than about 1 centimetre high. Or I'd stand there and, well, no, that's too high. Drove my mum mad. But I must say that I did buy a pair of high heel shoes one time. I mean, I just had to know, I had to see it. It was a moment of madness. And I bought these 4-inch heels, which I wore out about once. People looked at me like I was a freak. I was walking down the street and people literally stopped what they were doing and stared at me. Small children pointed and said, look, mummy, there's a giant. I should have just turned around and run home at this point, but I couldn't. I was having a few issues. Even walking in these things. I mean, they were such a ball ache. I mean, the balls of my feet were on fire. And I was trying to do this like half lurch, half wobble thing as I was going along, trying to navigate these heels. But I couldn't do any kind of uneven ground. I was definitely not doing any kind of ease or grace. And absolutely, I was not doing any speed. I mean, it's such a shame. I mean, I'd watched these movies as a child with the women with these gloriously high-heeled shoes, with their calves pulled tight, their legs stretched to infinite lengths. And they walked with such ease, such grace across all kinds of terrain without even breaking a sweat. Well, not me. I decided to remain in my flats. Thank you very much. My other big nightmare when I was growing up was boys. Oh gosh, I was so shy, you know, and if I wasn't tripping over my tongue, I was tripping over my size 8 feet. I was doing a magnificent impression of a beetroot every time the boy I fancied even looked at me. So to be towering over these boys, oh, it was just an embarrassing nightmare. I remember while I was growing up, like the age of 18 and my early college years, and, you know, meet guys at a nightclub or at a party. And the first thing they would say to me would be, you're tall, which was infinitely better than them saying to me, it's all right, love, we're all the same height when we're lying down. But what can you say? Through my whole adult life, every time I've met people, they always feel the need to tell me, you're tall. Like, hello, newsflash, I know. And it's funny, isn't it? Because you wouldn't go up to somebody and say, you've got brown hair, or you wear glasses, or you've got a really big nose. You just wouldn't, would you? So why do people always have to tell me I'm tall? There are good bits, though, to being tall. I love it in the supermarket when you get the little old lady looking longingly up at the pickles on the top shelf. And I can saunter over to her and say, can I help? Oh, lovely. She says, oh, I wish I was your height. Or when I play netball and I walk on court and the goal defence looks at me and goes, oh, can't we just chop you off at the knees? Nope. Or when I go to a concert and I can even stand at the back and I can still see the band, as long as I've got my glasses on, it's all fine. And but the bad thing is the not so great bits are if I'm trying to have a shower in a public shower and I'm doing this half crouch thing as I'm trying to get underneath the water source. Or if I go into the ladies, and they I don't know why, but they always have the mirrors so low. So everyone else is standing there doing their lippy, and there's me doing this. But I am lucky that I have a really tall husband. At 6'6", our eyes met across a crowded room. We were the tallest people in the pub. And I just love the fact that he's so tall. But for men, it's different, isn't it? Because a tall man, he commands respect. People look up to him. If I meet a guy and he looks up to me, invariably, he gets this instantaneous inferiority complex that makes him puff out his chest and ask me, what's the weather like up there? I just smile sweetly because I know that from my vantage point, I can see his bald patch. But I think at this point, I would just like to state for the record that, yes, the weather is fine up here. And yes, the view is wonderful. And no, I will never wear my hair in any kind of updo that adds 2 inches to my height. Thank you, contest chair.